Welcome to the Seven Dads TV podcast. I am your host, comedian Ken Wood. On today's episode, I have a very special guest. As always, I've with me today my very good friend, comedian, creator, writer, man of many trades, Andrew. I don't know if I should I say your last name?
No, don't say my last name. Don't tell everybody it's Walker. They'll look me up and I'm on 17 different lists out there. Do not tell them my name is Andrew Wesley Walker. No.
You full government name. Damn. Okay. Full fucking government name. So obviously you work on Motor City Mirth, which is a really cool variety show, which you don't see those anymore, man.
Right. And and that's why I started it a little over a year ago, because I miss seeing true variety shows. Like when I was a little kid, my parents would show me reruns of Lawrence Welk, and not that I'm trying to do that corny shit like Lawrence Welk, but like an interview after a comedy act, after a musical act, something. I mean, SNL is awesome for what it is, but like there needs to be something. We need more variety. So I'm trying to do that here at Orion Neighborhood Television, where I record in our TV studio for free because I don't have any money, but they let me do it for free. We have 3 nice cameras that we use and a nice studio. And anybody who's brave enough and stupid enough to be on my show, I'll have them on. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yep. That's what interests me so much about it, is that you just don't see them anymore.
Yes.
And from talking with you from the very get-go, I could just tell that you were a comedy nerd, just like myself.
Yes.
Yeah. It Likewise, is a compliment. Yeah. It is a compliment. Yes. And not only having your own certain tastes of comedy, but also having an appreciation for other forms of comedy. And you know what I'm saying? Like the actual art form, the history of it, the you know what I'm saying? The stuff that most people do not care about.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Right. And say what you will about the TikTok generation or whatever, it has its positives. Like, people can get their stuff out there, make money, but people are just like looking at a 30-second joke. They don't understand the history of it. They don't understand the actual structure.
And
they don't understand
all watered down propaganda from the Chinese government. But I understand. I agree with you completely. But I truly do think that type of comedy, because it comes out so fast, that it is just so watered down.
And people will laugh at it, and they'll say, "Oh, that's funny." They'll tell their friend, and then a week later they'll completely forget about it. It comes in and then goes out. They don't have time to sit and digest and think about, why is this funny? What went into this joke? What's the process of making this?
Yes.
And so I want to get back to and encourage other people our age, in our 20s and 30s, to get back into that and learn what Sid Caesar and the people in the 50s and 60s were learning when this media television was coming about, like how to truly be an entertainer, what goes into the art form, what goes into the process, that sort of stuff.
Okay. No, it's truly a lost art form, or a lost appreciation of it. So it's really cool to see you do that. I've seen a couple of them, and I've seen some of the acts, and some of the comedians you got last time you did it was very good. Tyler Neeson and Jack Reeves, both great.
Yeah.
You got Tam White and some others. I'm probably forgetting.
That's I did a live show at the Pontiac Little Art Theater last Halloween, and it was comedy and music, which was fun.
Okay.
So if I could plug this real quick, I have secured a show on Saturday, 4/20, at the Pontiac Little Art Theater. The owner asked me if I would like to host a show, and I have 2 guys on that and I was going to invite you to be on, and of course you can say no if you want, but Joseph Naiman and Brad Leonard said that they would like to do 15 minutes each. So it's going to be just a straight stand-up show. each person doing maybe 15 minutes, and then the closer maybe doing 30 or whatever.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you,
Oh,
if
put me on the spot.
and you don't have to say yes now, but I wanted to extend the offer to you, if you would like to do a 15-minute spot, and yes, it'll be paid.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Put me on the
Just
spot.
marinate on it.
I feel like one of the girls that just got proposed to at like a halfway fancy restaurant. Like you're not too happy about it, but you're like, yeah, I'll take it.
Hey, it's Olive Garden. We're all family.
Yeah.
Oh, you brought me the ring on a breadstick. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly,
But no,
they're no, I'll definitely, more than likely, I'll do it. I don't think I have anything planned for 420. I haven't planned anything since like I've been like 21 years old, for 420. But so yeah, I'll do it. And those guys are very funny too. And I know they work together on a lot of internet stuff.
And they've had me on their show they do in Southfield a couple times, and they're fun guys.
Yeah.
And they I mentioned I'm friends with you, and they had nothing but good things to say about you, Ken. So yeah.
Oh, I bet they had real great things to say about me. But yeah. Yeah, good guys. Yeah, so I'll definitely do it. I'll try to invite my friends too, because that's just a cool date too. To have
Hell
420.
Yeah. And it's cool that it's on a Saturday this year, so it's like we got to party. We got to do something. So yeah.
Okay. So I totally forgot what I was thinking about to say, but now I remember. Dude, Olive Garden, underrated.
Explain yourself, sir.
There's not enough diversity in the Italian food, of the American Italian food community, to really not appreciate what we fucking have. And that's some sloppy microwave cheese, and I will fucking eat it. The breadsticks, I hope I can afford a diamond ring that can wrap around one of those thick, delicious breadsticks.
But that would mean if it fit that, the girl you'd be putting it on, she'd be pushing 400 pounds. I mean,
okay, you're probably right. You're probably right, Andrew. You got me there. I can't say that I haven't went for.
Yeah. Hey, we all have.
Hey, man. You get a couple of Coronas in me.
Just a couple.
No harm, no foul. You know what I'm saying?
Just make sure she turns her phone off, and yeah.
Hey, wait, what is that?
I don't know.
You just turn her phone off
because like you don't want her to have any evidence that you were with her, like in public. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but in both that way and like a serial killer way, where like you got to turn your phone off, turn it off, turn your tracking location off. Like if you were just like, turn your phone off. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn this off real quick. But I was like, so, and one thing I will say, when we first met, you said that when you watched some of my stuff, you gave me a compliment, and the compliment was, you guys seem like you watch a lot of Whitest Kids You Know, or are you guys a fan of Trevor Moore? You said something like that, and I was like, fuck yes. That is a big part of like me growing up, was watching Whitest Kids You Know on YouTube and stuff like that. So like, I just want to toot my own horn. Why did you say that, Andrew?
I'm sorry, you did glitch out there for a couple seconds, but no, I pretty much understood. Like why I mentioned Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah.
It was the subject matter. It was making fun of everything, not giving a fuck about anything, and it was just like it was basically just you and one or two other of your friends, just white boys, just in their 20s, just like doing what doing what makes you laugh, doing what you think is funny, and like that was the very first vibe I got. And then I also remember mentioning to you, and I don't think you had heard of them at the time, the Birthday Boys.
No,
they were a sketch group on IFC, like in like 2013, 2014. They had 2 seasons, but they were like Whitest Kids You Know, but like a little more preppy.
Okay.
But they just reminded me of your style too, and they were great. But yeah,
Okay.
Birthday Boys. They were brought up by and kind of brought to the attention to the public by Bob Odenkirk. So he kind of
Okay.
discovered them. Yeah.
Okay. That would kind of make sense. His weird style of
Yeah.
comedy. And
Yeah.
yeah, when I first asked that question just now, I was like, damn, why did I ask that? That sounded bad. But your answer was very elegant, and it actually, I was like, damn, all right.
Hey,
I was like, okay.
just being honest.
And the one thing I love about Whitest Kids You Know is like sometimes I'll come across like Trevor Moore clips, and like there'll be sketches that I've never seen, and they're still fucking hilarious. And I'm just like, what, like where the fuck has this been posted? Where is this from? Like I watched one where he's like, it was just my friend sent me a snippet, and it was literally like and I don't even, it's what's funny is I don't even think this friend knew who Trevor Moore was, and he just sent me it, and it was just like people at a fucking dinner, and they're like, Trevor, why don't you tell him what, it was like his wife, and she was like, yeah, Trevor, tell him what you want to talk about or what you've been looking up. And he's like, well, I've been looking up a lot of stuff about Hitler and how Sandy Hook's a conspiracy and the government's out to get us. I'm like, dude, when the fuck did he put this out? Like, you know?
That reminds us, remember our conspiracy theory dudes
Yes.
the sketch that we recorded in Kyle's basement.
Yes.
Rob Schneider. that was a lot of fun. I drank a little bit too much Code Red Mountain Dew that day, and I had a little bit of it almost gave me diabetes, but I powered through it.
Oh, it definitely gave you at least a little bit of diabetes. A little bit of diabetes. No, and that's something I wanted to bring up was the videos we've done together, because I think we've done 2 now at least.
Yeah, that
2.
one and the gentrificationers. Yeah.
Yes. Which, yeah, I love the gentrificationers one. Like
the best part was me just getting shot on screen at the end. Motherfuckers, boom.
Yeah. And it sucks that there was supposed to be more to that video. And
yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah, but
it just sucks because the content, the time restraints the social media has really sets you back.
Yeah.
But that one, I think MJ Johnson fucking stole the show, man.
That dude was something else.
Oh my God. When he just fucking, he really stole the show. And I need to get him back into some more sketches. I'm like, this guy's good.
Yeah.
I feel like he's good for the style I'm trying to go for, but yeah, he's fucking good. But basically, did you have do you have any good memories of either of those sketches, like filming those? Because the Code Red was something to watch. How much Code Red there was, and like I have so much random footage of men eating chips in a basement and drinking Code Red.
Yeah, and then just dumping out cans of Code Red and having empty bottles everywhere. And excuse me. No, I mean, for both of those, it was just fun, just hanging out and recording in the basement of at Kyle's. It was just fun. And then standing in front of Wyandotte City Hall filming the opening part of gentrificationers. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. The fact that we had a prop gun and we were using it in front of City Hall is pretty wild.
Yes. I've it's okay if I ask you a question. So
yeah.
I shared both of those sketches with my group of it's myself and 5 high school buddies that we still keep in touch with, and we talk everything. We talk politics, we talk comedy every day. We're all huge comedy guys. And so I showed them, those 2 sketches, and then some of your more recent sketches that you've done, like some of the commercials, like the fentanyl gum, and and so I just want to let you know, those guys, they thought it was fun or funny, and they were like, hey, tell the dude to just keep on going and keep on going. I'm trying to remember some of the questions they wanted me to ask you. Oh, yesterday we were actually talking about, on the text thread, is political comedy overplayed today, or is it? I mean, I think it was definitely during the Trump years, especially on SNL. But is it making a comeback now with different subjects? I wanted to get your opinion on this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because, and here's how I look at it, is that when I first started comedy, I didn't really think that political comedy was going to be my thing, but I always knew that that was the good shit. And I wanted to try to do it at least sometimes, because I knew that if you can pull that off in certain ways, then like, that's what's good. You know what I'm saying? It's meaningful. It's impactful. It's writing about society and current times.
Yeah, and it's easy to pull from the headlines, and
Exactly.
because everyone's going to know what you're talking about. It's not like you have to sit there for 10 hours and think of a concept. You can pull from the headlines, but just make it your own angle on it, or make your own punchline about it.
Yep.
And there every day there's a new topic really to talk about. I mean, for better or worse, but there is always something socially or politically to make fun of. But it was myself who said, I don't know, I think some of this stuff might be getting kind of played out. But then I was still thinking the Trump years mindset, and I'm like, I want to be over that guy. I want to. There's so many other things we can make fun of. I mean, there are other
Yes.
topics, other
Yes.
subjects, and Trump is funny in his own way, but he's also fucking gross. And I kind of want to put him in the
It's
past. And you know what I mean? I want to. There's 100 other things we could ski right now. You know?
without a doubt. And I don't think it's played out. I don't think it'll ever be played out really, but certain topics get overused, and the Trump thing was
Yes.
overused way too much.
Yep.
So that was when I like kind of first started comedy, those years. And
Mm-hmm.
I was fucking like, I watched SNL like every week.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back on it, those sketches weren't good. And like at the end of the day, people at the end of the day, they kind of know what's good and what's bad, and stuff ages
Yeah.
poorly and stuff like that. And it's been 8 years of Trump on SNL. They've hardly
Yeah.
touched Biden even, and he's the
Yeah.
president.
Right. And I just thought Alec Baldwin as Trump, it was really cringy. And it was hard for me. It was hard to watch. And I would
Have you
fast forward through his
have you seen the new guy do it? The James Austin Johnson, I think his name is.
uh I saw when his was how many years has he been on now? 3. And I haven't
Yeah,
watched SNL in probably 2 years. So I did see like probably his first two, and he was pretty good. But it's just like, okay, we've seen this, you know.
no, exactly. And it's not even the fact that if he's good or not. It's just like you have to almost like reinvent the show from the inside out and like adapt
Yes.
with the times in certain ways, because that's what the Lonely Island did. And like the Lonely Island, they adapted with the times, and with YouTube and everything, they adapted with the times, and that brought in a
Yep.
whole new generation of people, including myself, because that's when I started watching SNL.
Oh yeah. Sandberg and those other two guys, I think they were a huge gift to Lauren Michaels, because they brought in a lot of young people in what 2007 2008,
dude
um,
i dude i watched
with their digital shorts and the music videos and everything.
I watched, like, this is a moment I think about a lot. I watched Jizz in My Pants, Lonely Island, live in SNL with me and my friend Kyle, who you obviously met, who is my cameraman, writer. He was on my last podcast. But we watched Jizz in My Pants music video. Watched the Jizz in My Pants music video while his dad was in the room. And fucking like it was such an epic moment, because I was laughing so hard. I was like, does Jim know what jizz is? I was like, he obviously knows what jizz is, but like just like that moment was so, it's like one of the greatest moments of my childhood.
did do you remember, like, did he have a reaction, or did his dad was his dad just trying to like be
Dude,
stoic about it, or
I was trying not to look at him because I was laughing so hard. And like I have to give a shout out to Kyle's parents, and I should have did this last time he was on the podcast, because they let us like watch like SNL like that. They watched it with us, but there was also a moment where fucking we watched Bruno. Have you ever seen Sacha Baron Cohen's movie Bruno?
I've seen both Borat, but I've not seen Bruno.
Oh my God. Okay. So the Bruno, some people like it better. I think I kind of like it better, but
Okay.
it's super hardcore with the gayness.
Okay.
And there's a scene where he's just meat spinning. His dick is flopping in the air. And I'm watching that with my friend's mom.
Like it's like explicit. Like,
yes, it's
okay.
straight dick
Like,
flopping. And then there's a fucking scene in that movie where Bruno is gay and they're trying to convert him to being straight, and they hire a dominatrix. And the dominatrix is naked. She's fucking naked, and she's trying to whip Bruno as he's running around a room. And she's like, "Suck my pussy, suck my pussy." And he's like, "I'd rather not." As he's like scurrying around this room, and then he like falls out of a window, out of the bedroom window. Dude, I was crying laughing. I was like, "Fucking Lori's watching this with me." I'm like, "Is Lori's watching us on the big TV in the fucking living room right now?" Like, greatest moments of my childhood, but it's those moments that I think really define me as a man
Yeah.
and as a comedian.
Yes, yes. It's part of your DNA. Now, just
Yes.
a quick aside, connected to the Jizz in My Pants music video. Do you know this? Have you seen The Sopranos?
A little bit, not
So
too much.
I'm just now going through it for the first time, and Tony Soprano's daughter, Meadow, played by Jamie Lynn Sigler, she is the hot girl at the counter where she goes, "Cash or credit?" Do you remember the really
Yes.
pretty girl with
Oh, of course.
the huge,
Yeah.
beautiful eyes? And I'm like,
Yes.
where have I seen this gorgeous girl before? And then I looked it up. Oh no, that's Tony Soprano's daughter.
That's why he jizzed in his pants.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Standing in front of
He's
fucking Tony Soprano's daughter.
The one part of that music video that just made me start crying was towards the end where he says, "I open a window and I jizz in my pants." Right when he opens the window. That's what did it for me for that video.
No, for me, it's the next line when he fucking said, when Bruce Willis dies at the end of Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
See, I can still laugh about this shit, dude. It's
Oh yeah,
fucking, like,
timeless.
that shit is good, and it brings back some good memories.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're on the topic of comedy, how
While we're on the topic of jizz, no.
yeah. But how do you feel like what do you feel like the future of comedy is? Like, do you feel like we're ending the politically correct phase? Because with certain like if you just even I'm gonna state some facts. Shane Gillis is hosting SNL, right?
Yeah, and I knew you were going to bring that up because I know you like him, and you mentioned that didn't you get to briefly meet him at
yes,
was it at Chappelle or
yeah,
some show?
After I saw the Dave Chappelle live in concert, I saw him at the Tin Roof in Detroit at a random bar.
Okay, yeah, I remember you texting me that. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Now I'm not super familiar with his material, but I do remember the controversy a couple years ago where they dug up one joke where he made fun of an Asian person or something. I don't even remember. And I just remember
say it's more than just one.
Okay. Well, like I said,
I would just say, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, and I'm not super familiar with his material, but I just remember hearing that and I thought to myself, are we going a little too far? Because I'm one of those people that, like, I can say, like, sometimes we can go a little too far with comedy.
Never.
And so I know you say never,
never,
but like
fly
to the point where sometimes people can be intentionally
ignorant.
punching down, which I'm not a fan of. Like, at least that's not my style of comedy. Yeah. But there's got to be a point where, like, oh shoot, should this guy lose his job for making this type of joke, or should this, So I'm glad. I was glad when I heard several weeks ago that he was going to be hosting, and I hope that this can be a sort of like a coming together moment for different segments of the comedy world, just to be like, we all got to be cool and relax and just remember why are we here? Why are we doing this? We're here to make people laugh. We're here to ease all the nastiness and tension in the world, and just to make people laugh. And even if it's an off-color joke, or even if it's a PC joke, there's a lot of funny PC jokes, whatever. As long as we're here and we keep that in mind to do our jobs and make people laugh, then that should be allowed.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just with comedy, especially now, it's so subjective. What makes you laugh could not make me
Yes.
laugh.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like the other day, like TMZ, they dug up like other podcast clips of Shane Gillis. And
Oh,
one thing that I kind of realized, and why I asked about the ending of the PC thing, is because not only Shane Gillis, like, did he get canceled for that podcast stuff, but like he was a part of Compound Media, and Compound Media, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but
no.
it's a podcast network that is very right wing, and they do probably the darkest humor that is around. Like you have white guys saying the N word even and stuff like
No.
that. And for me to see a Compound Media guy who kind of started there, even though he wasn't one of the main guys, but he was on that network, whatever. Now he's hosting SNL. I'm like, I do think that there is like the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're kind of out of it.
Okay. I see that.
But
Yeah.
but I will say, like, for my comedy, I don't like to like I don't like to think I'm punching down. I like to think of me putting enough effort into the actual joke to where it's like you kind of see where I'm coming from. You see that it's a joke, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, it's subjective and it's all about, I guess, intent. And like you said, and I know you well enough, Ken, that I know you're not a like a punching down type of guy.
My intent is to make my racist white friends laugh. Exactly. I want the Bud Light
So
coming out of their nose.
right. But I mean,
Just joking. I'm sorry.
no,
No,
I
I'll do
no.
the apology video for saying that right now, Andy.
No, I know exactly where you're coming from, Ken. But I think we are doing better in the comedy world, like across the board. Like people are being more open to all sorts of comedy and all sorts of jokes and everything. But you also have to know your audience. If you're a white guy coming into a black club like what's his name, Kramer, and just yelling the N-word, um uh you can't, you have to understand there you're gonna face some backlash.
Yeah.
And
Oh no, Jerry, I said the N-word.
yeah, so I like I said, it's subjective, but you also you have to know your audience, and if your audience responds badly to what you say, you have to understand, like, hey, you're performing for them. So I don't know, it's a tough it's a tough balancing act, and it's not so cut and dry. Yeah.
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 I'm very excited for the future of comedy. Like I'm
Yes.
very
Yes.
excited to like try to like be a part of it in my weird little ways, and like try to do stuff. But like some of the comedians I see are like I just think are really really good, and I feel like we're gonna hit a golden age soon where there's good comedians doing good material that is fresh and original, because we've seen Trump on SNL for the last 8 years and people are just sick of it. It's and even some local comedians like
Yes.
some local comedians are really good, but some of them are, in my eyes, stuck in 2016 is what I say. Like
Yeah.
you go to some of their Twitter feeds and it looks like they're auditioning for the Daily Show in 2016,
Yeah.
dude. Like
Yep.
it's and I'm just like, if that's your style, it's one thing, but like I always looked at it like you got to make fun of both. Like I never thought of myself as like basically what I would think of as like a propagandist of like I got to write stuff about Republicans or I got to write stuff about Democrats. I got to
Mm-hmm.
like I get your own political views will show, but I feel like there's just people who are really like I got to stick it to those fucking Republicans. Like they
Yeah. And you really you kind of kneecap yourself when you do that. You automatically turn off 50% of your possible audience if you do like straight pro liberal or straight pro conservative jokes, and it shows sort of a almost an unwillingness to adapt and evolve with uh this the climate and the times, and that's what comedy as an art form is you have to adapt, you have to make fun of different things that are going on. And if you pigeonhole yourself one way or the other, um it's not good for you, and you stunt yourself creatively, I think.
Without a
That's
doubt.
the way I see it.
I think so too, but I think comedy, like when I first joined comedy, and now the more I learn about it, it's very cliquish. It's very like friends hang out with friends, especially stand-ups. Like if you're like everywhere you go, there's kind of those cliques where you kind of have to like wiggle your way in a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I've talked to certain stand-ups and they've quit because of politics, or I've heard they've quit because of certain weird little things, you know, when I'm like, damn, that
Mm-hmm.
person quit, like they're good. You know, like, what are they
Yeah.
doing? You know, like are they stupid?
I,
Like
I oh, I keep moving my laptop. I'm sorry. In the sketch and improv world, at least here in Detroit, I haven't noticed that as much. I don't know. I've had maybe one or two acquaintances that have stepped away because of, like, one person because of the COVID thing. And it's like uh you're I feel like some people were I don't know. It's I
well,
really don't like talking about it, but it's just like people shouldn't you I don't know what I'm trying to say, Ken, but yes, there are cliques. I mean, just like in any other, like, social groups or whatever, you're going to have those people. But I try to, if I see people that are overly cliquish, I just try to be like, okay, I'll keep them as an acquaintance. I don't want to get sucked into, you know,
it, yeah, but
the,
as a
yeah.
stand-up, it's hard. It's hard to like not try to fit in, and I think that that's why people's material starts to blend in, because it's like I'm trying to make these certain people laugh, and I don't know, you get lost in it, especially with like the open mic scene and like
So
trying to climb that ladder.
do you feel like in the local stand-up scene, like, that you do have to act a certain way, maybe a little more liberal, because most comedians tend to be a little more liberal just because of the art form, that you feel like you have to kind of like kiss the ring to try to fit in or move up with
A,
a
a
certain
lot
polit
a
or
lot of people do. A lot of people do, and I feel like
okay,
I fell into a trap of just not even necessarily liberal, of just trying to be liked by certain things. Like, you know what I'm
okay,
saying? Like at first I would go to open mics and going like I could network with these people, and like you know, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I feel like I would always look for that other person to kind of like make me actually feel like more of a comedian.
oh,
And then I had
and you wanted that validation, right?
yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's
yeah,
more about
sure.
validation. Yeah, it was
Well,
more about
that's
validation.
that's that's natural for, I mean, for what we do, as performers, and trying to, make people laugh and build an audience. So we we're people pleasers naturally, and we seek that validation, but we gotta make sure that it doesn't control us. Yeah,
Exactly. And I feel like
yeah.
I'm at a good point where I don't give a fuck anymore. And I've had enough success doing my weird shit to be like, just keep going, dude.
I think you're in a good spot with that, my friend. From what I see
Thank you.
from your comedy, and just, getting to know you the last several months, I think you're in a good spot for that. Yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. But we got to end this, Andrew. It's about to end.
Oh,
I know.
man.
It's probably going to cut off on us. So thank you guys for watching. If you
Yes.
watched,
Thank you.
give it up for Andrew Walker.
Yes.
Everyone's going so hard clapping right now. It only says less than a minute, and it doesn't give you